Hey folks, Dave here. I appreciate you stopping by for another video, and I hope everyone's doing well today. If you are new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. I hope you find the video useful and enjoyable. So we're going to make a four-leaf clover, and we're going to start with a free vector, and I'll put a link down in the description so you can go get it. And it is 100% free, so you can use it commercially on your website if you're selling items. So we'll just go up and we're going to open four-leaf clover. And remember, you can use your scroll wheel to move in and out. You can push down and move the entire canvas around. So go up to your size here, and we're in millimeters. Make sure your lock is on. And for the height, we're going to go 254. And just let the width change proportionately. And then we are going to put, we're going to cut this out of one piece, and then we'll put Happy St. Patrick's Day across it. So we'll go to defont.com. I believe I've got it up right here. So dafont.com. So we're going to look for a script that is good for a cutout and 100% free. So we're going to go over here and click calligraphy. And you can see the first ones that come up are for personal use only. We don't like that, so we want to be able to use it commercially if we want to. So go to size, change it to large so it gives us a good cutout. Go to more options and click 100% free. And then under preview, type out happy. Capital H, small a, P-P-Y. And then click submit. And then you can get samples of how that's going to look. And I found one down here a little bit, this ballet harmony. I tested it and cut it out. It cuts out pretty good. So you want to download that, which I've already done somewhere. And it's going to come down as a zip file. So then you can just right click and extract with whatever program you have. And then you'll get this folder. And then it's TIFF, TTF. Right click and install. And then that'll be made available to whatever programs you have that use fonts. So we're going to go over to our text tool. You don't have to restart Lightburn, it'll show up. So we're going to click text, and I already have ballet harmony selected. I'm going to type out happy. And notice, I want to show you before I click the selector tool. The letters overlap, but they're not yet welded. So you want to make sure up top the welded is selected and it's green. Then when you click the selector tool, it will weld everything together. And well, if it's meant to be welded together or possible to weld it together, it will. A couple of these we're going to have to work with and make some adjustments to. I'm just going to pull this out of the way now that it's the size we want. And then we're going to go right out St. Patrick's Day. Capital S, small t, period. And see, we'll have to work with this to make these touch. And I'll show you how in just a minute. Trying to spell here. You can see that St. Patrick's is, some of them are touching, some of them are not, but that's okay. We'll fix it. Oh, and I didn't put a apostrophe in there. We'll do that. And then we can click the selector tool, and whatever will weld, it'll go ahead and do that. I know this looks messy, but sometimes it's what you got to do. Alright, so now to make these, to be able to move these letters around, you have to select it, right click, and convert to path. And now that we've done that, they're not really letters anymore, they're objects. So you can't go in here and double click like normal and be able to add additional letters. But you can move these around individually. If you wanted to move this one out, you can move it out. I'm hitting Control Z to put it back. But now we have the issue of some of these not touching. So we're going to select the T. Well, something else. These centerpiece cutouts are not attached. So if you move that, you're going to lose part of the letter. So what you have to do is pull from the right so you get a green line, and then you can select. All you have to do is touch the object, so that way we can touch the main letter and the centerpiece, and then we can group it. And I'm going to group up top. I don't usually do that, but a commenter asked me why I don't want to do it. So Carl, here you go. I'm grouping from top. All right, and it's grouped. So now we want to make this T come over and touch the S enough to still look like Saint, but be connected together. Once we do that, leave the T selected, click Shift, select the S, and then go over to the left and click Weld. And now we have that. So now we need the period. It's a square period, but yeah, it's a period. Select it, pull it over, let it touch somewhere, wherever you want it to touch. And when you're welding, it's you're dealing with two objects. So all of this has to be one object and then the period. Then you can shift, select everything else, click weld, and there you go. And that will cut out like that. Now this will be a little more complicated, but we're going to group the inside part. We don't want to group this dot in with it. So we're going to group that. And I know we missed this piece here, but we're going to get it. So we group that. And we're going to grab this one and group it in. And then we are going to make it touch this T after we group that in. Okay, so this has to be grouped now. I know this looks painful, but it's how you have to do it. Unless you just want to use another font that's not as fancy as a script. Okay, we got that, so we're just going to grab this apostrophe and make it touch a little bit here. Hopefully it don't look weird. Then we're going to shift, select everything else. Uh-oh, we missed a piece. So this right here was not part of that, so you got to group that in. Alright, now we will pull that back in and hopefully make it still look like an apostrophe. Shift, select, and weld. Okay, now with this dot, I think we'll just make it a little larger. Pull it down and let it touch. And then shift, select everything else. And there we have that. Excuse me. So for this, just touching the T there probably won't be enough support for it. So let's see. You just have to kind of play with these things, folks, and that no longer looks like an R, so I'm going to pull it back. And we're just going to draw something and put in there. We just draw out a little rectangle. I'm sorry, not a triangle, man. I've been away from the laser for a couple of weeks, so I've kind of had the itch to get in here. And I've already forgot how to do some stuff. So let's see, let's make that a little smaller. We're just going to make something that don't look too bad. Bear with me, folks. We'll get there. Alright, so now we have that, but we have three objects. We have this, the AT and the RICK as two objects, and then this. So we need to select part of it, shift, select our little drawing, click weld. That takes care of that. Now we can select this one as a whole, shift, select this one, and then click weld. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now we need to get this A over closer to the P. And I think that's going to be okay. Shift, select the P. That takes care of that. Now we can deal with this S. Now you may find fonts that are more desirable or easier to work with. My goal was to just have one that was completely free and have no problems using it. We're going to try to stretch this a little bit and maybe touch that apostrophe a little bit there. Then we're going to shift and select everything else and weld that in. And I think we're okay right there. So we have happy, St. Patrick's. Now we need day. And it's probably not going to cooperate either. Capital D, small a, Y. Okay, so it's off a little bit too, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. So now we just need to select it, right click, and the reason that these didn't weld with the weld selected is they weren't close enough to do that. So we're just going to right click, convert the path. That way we can move them around after we group them. Remember, you have to, these pieces, these cutout pieces are not grouped to the rest of it. So you're best to select it, right click and group, or group up top. Do the same thing for both pieces. Then you can move them individually and let them touch. And then shift, select, and weld. And that takes care of that. Okay, so we have our 4-leaf clover. And we have our St. Patrick's. All we're going to do is size them up. And then we will cut them out individually. And that don't look too bad. I think it'll be okay. All right, so I'm just going to move this out of the way. And then we will cut out the 4-leaf clover first, and then come back and cut out the St. Patrick's. So let me get set up in the laser. We'll cut that out. I'll be right back, folks. Okay, folks, we're all set up. And again, we're using 3mm basswood plywood. We'll cut out the clover first, and then we'll come back and reset and cut out the lettering. Okay, sending it over. Okay, let me pull these out and we'll put it all together, see what it looks like. Okay, so here's our finished project. Turned out pretty good. I like that font. It cuts out good, and it's 100% free, so we can use it commercially for you know, putting stuff on our website or however you want to use it without getting in trouble for using somebody's font in the wrong way. So if I was going to paint this, I would have painted that clover board green before starting and the letterboard white before cutting it out, and then that would have looked good. Probably put a couple of holes up top in the clover to hang it up somewhere, but you can put something on the back. So I'll put links to the font and the clover down in the description. And I'll also put some links for our projects playlist and tutorials playlist. And if you have any questions as you're trying to do this or anything we've got posted, just let me know. And I'm a beginner. I'm at 1 year for having a laser. So I got a whole lot of learning to do, but comments help me to learn. And then trying to figure out some of the questions I get, that helps me learn as well. So I really appreciate you folks taking time to watch. I know there's a lot of stuff you could be watching, and I appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow. So you folks take care, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.